business of hip-hop. From street corner ciphers to billion-dollar empires, hip-hop didn't just change music, it rewrote the entire playbook of American capitalism. What started as block parties in the Bronx became the most valuable cultural export in modern history, transforming broke kids from the projects into business moguls who now own sports teams, fashion brands, and streaming platforms. Welcome to today's Duel of Concepts Deep Dive, where we're going to dissect how hip-hop became the ultimate entrepreneurial masterclass. I'm proving that the most powerful business lessons don't come from Harvard MBA programs. They come from the streets, the studios, and the relentless hustle of artists who turned raw creativity into generational wealth. Hip-hop as cultural and economic force. When hip-hop emerged in the 1970s, nobody predicted it would become a multi-billion-dollar industry that would fundamentally reshape not just music, but fashion, technology, sports, and global culture. Yet here we are, 5 decades later, witnessing hip-hop artists consistently topping Forbes lists of highest-earning entertainers, launching successful businesses across every imaginable sector, and wielding cultural influence that extends far beyond music. The business of hip-hop represents something unprecedented in entertainment history, a cultural movement that grew organically from marginalized communities and became the dominant force in popular culture while maintaining its authentic voice and entrepreneurial spirit. Unlike previous music genres that were largely controlled by established industry gatekeepers, hip-hop artists pioneered the concept of artistic independence, creating their own record labels, distribution networks, and multimedia empires. This transformation didn't happen overnight, nor was it accidental. Hip-hop's business evolution reflects the genre's core values of self-reliance, creativity, and turning limited resources into maximum impact. From the beginning, hip-hop artists were natural entrepreneurs, DJs invested their own money in sound systems, rappers sold mixtapes from car trunks, and producers built home studios in basements. This DIY ethos became the foundation for an industry that now generates over $16 billion annually in the United States alone. From streets to suites, the evolution of hip-hop economics. The economic evolution of hip-hop can be understood through distinct phases, each representing a quantum leap in business sophistication and market reach. The first phase, from the late 1970s through the 1980s, was characterized by grassroots entrepreneurship. Artists like Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin founded Def Jam Records in an NYU dorm room, while pioneers like Afrika Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash monetized their DJ skills through parties and performances. During this period, the business model was relatively simple: create music, perform live, and sell records. However, even in these early days, hip-hop artists demonstrated unusual business acumen. They understood the value of building direct relationships with their audiences, often bypassing traditional music industry intermediaries. The mixtape culture that emerged during this era wasn't just about artistic expression. It was a sophisticated marketing and distribution strategy that allowed artists to build fan bases and test market appeal without major label investment. The 1990s marked the second phase, as hip-hop began achieving mainstream commercial success. This period saw the rise of hip-hop moguls like Sean Diddy Combs, who transformed Bad Boy Entertainment from a record label into a lifestyle brand encompassing music, fashion, and entertainment. Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records demonstrated how artists could maintain creative control while building significant business enterprises. Meanwhile, Master P's No Limit Records proved that independent hip-hop labels could compete directly with major corporations by controlling their own distribution and manufacturing. The third phase, beginning in the 2000s and continuing today, represents hip-hop's full transformation into a sophisticated business ecosystem. Artists like Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, and Kanye West have built business portfolios that extend far beyond music, encompassing technology, fashion, real estate, and investment. This phase is characterized by strategic thinking, brand building, and the understanding that music can serve as a launching pad for much larger business ambitions. Record labels and industry power dynamics. The relationship between hip-hop artists and record labels tells a fascinating story of power, innovation, and gradual industry transformation. Traditional record labels initially viewed hip-hop with skepticism, considering it a fad with limited commercial potential. This skepticism inadvertently created opportunities for hip-hop entrepreneurs to build their own infrastructure and maintain greater control over their careers. Independent hip-hop labels like Sugar Hill Records, which released Rapper's Delight in 1979, proved that hip-hop could be commercially viable without major label support. However, as hip-hop's commercial potential became undeniable, major labels began acquiring successful independent labels or signing distribution deals that allowed them to capitalize on hip-hop's growth while the original founders maintained creative control. The power dynamics between artists and labels in hip-hop have always been more complex than in other genres. Hip-hop artists, influenced by the culture's entrepreneurial values, consistently pushed for better deals, more creative control, and ownership stakes in their work. This led to innovative contract structures, including joint ventures, profit-sharing agreements, and 360-degree deals that encompass not just music, but all aspects of an artist's career. Today's hip-hop business landscape features a hybrid model where successful artists often maintain their own labels while partnering with major labels for distribution and marketing support. Artists like Kendrick Lamar's Top Dog Entertainment, J. Cole's Dreamville Records, and Chance the Rapper's Complete Independence demonstrate different approaches to balancing artistic control with commercial reach. The streaming era has further disrupted traditional label power structures. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud have lowered barriers to distribution, allowing independent hip-hop artists to reach global audiences without traditional label support. However, the most successful artists still benefit from the marketing expertise, industry relationships, and financial resources that established labels provide. Streaming, digital distribution, and new revenue models. The digital revolution has been particularly transformative for hip-hop, a genre that was already culturally aligned with technological innovation and direct-to-consumer marketing. Streaming platforms haven't just changed how hip-hop music is consumed, they've fundamentally altered the economics of the genre and created new opportunities for artists at every level. Streaming has democratized hip-hop distribution in unprecedented ways. Artists can now release music instantly to global audiences without the traditional gatekeepers of radio programmers, record label executives, or physical distribution networks. This has led to an explosion of hip-hop creativity and diversity, with artists from previously underrepresented regions and backgrounds finding audiences for their work. The economics of streaming favor hip-hop's cultural characteristics. Hip-hop fans tend to be highly engaged, often streaming entire albums and deep catalog tracks rather than just singles. The genre's emphasis on prolific output, mixtapes, frequent releases, collaborative projects, aligns well with streaming platforms' need for fresh content. Artists like Drake, Travis Scott, and Lil Wayne have mastered this new landscape by maintaining constant presence on streaming platforms and understanding how algorithmic recommendations work. However, streaming has also created new challenges. While the barriers to distribution have lowered, the competition for attention has intensified dramatically. Hip-hop artists now compete not just with other musicians, but with podcasts, videos, and all forms of digital entertainment for listener attention. This has pushed hip-hop artists to become more sophisticated content creators, using social media, visual content, and cross-platform strategies to build and maintain their audiences. The most successful hip-hop artists in the streaming era understand that music is often just the foundation for broader business strategies. They use streaming success to drive other revenue streams, including touring, merchandise, brand partnerships, and business ventures. The data provided by streaming platforms also offers unprecedented insights into fan behavior, allowing artists and their teams to make more informed decisions about touring routes, merchandise designs, and business opportunities, brand partnerships, and endorsement deals. Hip-hop's relationship with brands represents one of the most significant developments in modern marketing and celebrity endorsement. Unlike traditional celebrity endorsements, which often felt artificial or temporary, hip-hop artists have pioneered authentic brand integration that aligns with their artistic identity and cultural influence. The evolution began in the 1980s when hip-hop artists started name-dropping brands in their lyrics, not for payment, but because these brands were genuinely part of their lifestyle and identity. Run DMC's My Adidas wasn't a commissioned jingle. It was an authentic expression of their personal style that happened to provide incredible value for the brand. This organic integration caught brands' attention and laid the groundwork for more sophisticated partnerships. Today's hip-hop brand partnerships operate on multiple levels. At the basic level, artists receive payment for wearing, using, or mentioning products. However, the most lucrative deals involve equity stakes, creative collaboration, and long-term strategic partnerships. Jay-Z's deal with Armand de Brignac Champagne, Dr. Dre's Beats Electronics partnership, and Travis Scott's McDonald's collaboration represent different models of how hip-hop artists can create mutual value with brands. The authenticity factor remains crucial in hip-hop brand partnerships. Fans can quickly detect when an endorsement feels forced or inconsistent with an artist's established image. The most successful partnerships feel natural and provide genuine value to fans, whether through exclusive products, unique experiences, or cultural moments that transcend traditional advertising. Hip-hop artists have also pioneered the concept of brand building around their own personas. Artists like Rihanna with Fenty, Kanye West with Yeezy, and Jay-Z with various ventures have demonstrated that hip-hop artists can create their own brands that compete directly with established corporations. This represents a fundamental shift from artists being hired to promote others' products to artists creating and owning the products themselves. Fashion, lifestyle, and merchandising empire. Perhaps no aspect of hip-hop business demonstrates the genre's cultural influence more clearly than its impact on fashion and lifestyle marketing. Hip-hop artists didn't just adopt existing fashion trends, they created entirely new aesthetic categories and business models that have influenced global fashion and lifestyle industries. The relationship between hip-hop and fashion began with artists incorporating street fashion into their image, often featuring brands like Adidas, Nike, and luxury designers in ways that hadn't been seen in popular music before. This evolved into artists launching their own fashion lines, with varying degrees of success. Early ventures like Puff Daddy's Sean John and Jay-Z's Rocawear proved that hip-hop artists could build substantial fashion businesses by leveraging their cultural credibility and understanding of their audience's aspirations. The contemporary landscape features more sophisticated approaches to fashion and lifestyle business. Kanye West's Yeezy brand, developed in partnership with Adidas, represents perhaps the most successful example of hip-hop fashion entrepreneurship. The brand combines limited edition drops, premium pricing, and cultural cachet to create one of the most valuable sneaker and apparel brands in the world. Merchandising has evolved far beyond simple t-shirts and posters. Today's hip-hop merchandising encompasses everything from limited edition vinyl releases and designer collaborations to NFTs and digital collectibles. Artists like Travis Scott have pioneered merchandise strategies that create cultural events around product drops, generating millions of dollars in sales while strengthening fan engagement. The lifestyle component extends to everything from restaurants and nightclubs to cannabis brands and wellness products. Hip-hop artists have demonstrated unique abilities to identify cultural trends early and create businesses that serve their audience's evolving interests and aspirations. Technology and innovation in hip-hop business. Hip-hop's relationship with technology extends far beyond the sampling and production techniques that define the genre's sound. Hip-hop artists and entrepreneurs have consistently been early adopters and innovators in technology platforms, often identifying opportunities before traditional business establishment. Social media provided hip-hop artists with powerful tools for direct fan engagement and marketing. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok became essential elements of hip-hop business strategy, allowing artists to build and maintain relationships with fans, test new material, and create viral moments that drive commercial success. Hip-hop artists were among the first to understand how to monetize social media presence through sponsored content, product placement, and strategic partnerships. The rise of music production apps and affordable recording technology has democratized hip-hop creation, allowing aspiring artists to produce professional quality music from home studios. This has expanded the talent pool and created new business opportunities for producers, engineers, and technology companies serving the hip-hop community. Streaming and digital distribution platforms have been particularly transformative, but hip-hop artists have also embraced newer technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and blockchain. Travis Scott's Fortnite concert demonstrated how hip-hop artists could create new types of entertainment experiences using gaming platforms. Various artists have experimented with NFTs and cryptocurrency, exploring how these technologies might create new revenue streams and fan engagement opportunities. Global expansion and international markets. Hip-hop's transformation from a localized Bronx phenomenon to a global cultural force represents one of the most successful international business expansions in entertainment history. This global reach has created enormous business opportunities, while also presenting unique challenges related to cultural translation and market adaptation. The international expansion of hip-hop business began organically through cultural exchange and migration patterns. Hip-hop's themes of struggle, aspiration, and self-determination resonated with young people worldwide, leading to indigenous hip-hop scenes in countries across Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. These local scenes created a demand for American hip-hop artists while also producing local talent that could compete in global markets. American hip-hop artists have developed sophisticated strategies for international market penetration. This includes strategic touring in emerging markets, collaborations with local artists, and adaptation of marketing strategies to different cultural contexts. Artists like Drake have demonstrated particular skill in identifying and capitalizing on international trends, incorporating elements from dancehall, Afro beats, and other global music styles into their work. The streaming era has accelerated hip-hop's global reach by eliminating traditional distribution barriers. An artist can now release music simultaneously to audiences worldwide, and streaming platform algorithms can introduce hip-hop music to listeners who might never have encountered it through traditional media channels. International business opportunities extend beyond music to include fashion, lifestyle brands, and other ventures. Hip-hop's global cultural influence creates opportunities for artists to launch products and services in international markets, often with higher profit margins than domestic operations. In conclusion, the business of hip-hop represents more than just commercial success. It's a masterclass in turning cultural authenticity into economic power, transforming artistic vision into sustainable enterprises, and building generational wealth from the ground up. From Russell Simmons' early Def Jam deals to Jay-Z's billion-dollar portfolio, hip-hop has consistently demonstrated that the most innovative business strategies often come from those who have no choice but to create their own opportunities. What makes hip-hop's business evolution so remarkable isn't just the money, it's the way the culture has maintained its core values while scaling to global influence. Hip-hop artists have proven that you don't have to sacrifice authenticity for commercial success, that independent thinking can outperform corporate strategies, and that understanding your audience deeply is more valuable than any market research. As we look toward the future, hip-hop continues to pioneer new business models and cultural trends that other industries inevitably follow. The lessons from hip-hop entrepreneurship: be authentic, control your narrative, diversify your revenue streams, and never forget where you came from, remain as relevant for aspiring creators today as they were for those early pioneers in the Bronx. Now, here's my challenge to you. If this deep dive into hip-hop business dropped some knowledge that resonated with your entrepreneurial spirit, smash that like button like you're dropping the hottest track of the year. Subscribe to Duel of Concepts if you want to keep exploring how culture shapes commerce and creativity builds empires. And in the comments, I want to see your take on which hip-hop business move was the most game-changing. Was it Def Jam's creation, Jay-Z's streaming deal with Tidal, Dre's beat sale to Apple, or something else entirely? Let's see if we can freestyle our way to some business insights that even the moguls might want to steal.